Welcome to GTFO out of the USA. We are a couple of digital nomads traveling around South America trying to find the best places to live.
Welcome to GTFO out of the USA.
And today we wanted to talk to you about why, out of all the places available, out of all the countries in Latin America, we chose Colombia as our primary place of living. So we're going to talk about mostly pros because obviously we chose Colombia, but also mention some of the drawbacks of living in Colombia.
You mean it's not Shangri-La?
Well, I don't know there's any place that is like 100% perfect, right? And we always choose a place according to our personal values. For some people, certain things might be more important than others. So that's also a caveat. So take everything we're saying with a grain of salt, but we'll try to be objective and tell you why Colombia is number one for us.
Okay, let's get started.
So I prepared a little list and we're going to go through each of the points and discuss it in a little bit of detail. And our first point, and probably the main reason why we chose Colombia, is because Colombia really does have the perfect climate. Located about 4 degrees away from the equator, Colombia enjoys a lush spring-like climate all year round thanks to the 3 mountain ranges that flow through Colombia, which means most of the country is located at higher elevation.
Despite the hat and the jacket, we are in the rainy season here in Bogota at high altitude, so it's warm when the sun's out, but sometimes it can get a little cool.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Colombia is a pretty big country, and it's actually got like 6 or 7 different climatic zones.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is located at different elevations. So even though you're at the equator, you could be here in Bogota at almost 9,000 feet. So at 9,000 feet, it doesn't matter, how strong the sun is, it's going to be a little bit cooler. And Bogota kind of is known for that, known for its cool and rainy climate.
But an hour and a half away, you could be in the tropics. Literally driving an hour and a half, you're in the tropics.
Exactly. So that's a great point. Depending on where you go in Colombia, the climate is going to be different.
It's all about elevation.
Yeah, but the nice thing is that it's sunny all year round. You don't get the harsh winters like you do in North America.
Hence eternal spring.
And you also don't get like the crazy heat, especially if you stay in these like high mountain areas. Like the place that we live in, Villa de Leyva, the temperature there is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius all year round. But if you're looking for something a little more tropical, you can check out the Cartagena or Santa Marta, located on the Caribbean coast of Colombia, which offer a tropical climate and stunning beaches. I wanted to also mention, I'm from Europe, and so coming to the US for me was a bit of a culture shock. And you might also relate to that you go to a place that is not your home, and it's really hard to integrate into the culture. But here in Colombia, I would say that the culture here is actually pretty European and pretty Western. What do you think?
Yeah, very Western, very European, ancestral. From Spain. They colonized Colombia in the 15th century. So, and you have, some German, a little bit of French.
And I'll give you an example. For example, like Mexico was the first country in Latin America that I experienced. And for me, my first impression was that Mexico was actually a lot more like indigenous and not maybe indigenous is not the right word, but it has this like very like unique, authentic culture.
Yeah, strong
and here
culture.
In Colombia, I would say it's like a lot more European. So for me, coming here, I felt at home, and obviously for you, you grew up in this culture. So the cultural aspect is important, and when you're immigrating, you want to make sure that you're going to have an easy transition
to assimilate.
into
Yeah.
society. Yeah. Like you mentioned an example of like trying to go to Asia, Thailand, or something like that.
Yeah, compared to Southeast Asia, if you're a Westerner, just obviously the language barrier is enough of a barrier.
And everything else. I mean, like religion, traditions, how people interact with each other, all of those things make a big difference.
Yeah.
So that's one other plus point for Colombia. And another thing that is related to that is that Colombia is a very family-oriented culture. So if you're younger and you're still looking to like start a family, maybe you're looking, to get married.
There's still hope for you.
Colombia, there's a lot of beautiful women, and they're more traditional. They will be happy to start a family, and so something to keep in mind.
I mean, the people are really warm, respectful, and still traditional, kind of the old world still. Like there's still reminiscence of the old world, if you know what I mean. And so if you're looking for something like that, a little bit more traditional, Colombia certainly has that.
I also wanted to talk about a very obvious point about why we chose Colombia, and that is the quality of life here. Thanks to the favorable exchange rate between the dollar and the Colombian peso, your money goes a lot further, which means you can enjoy dinners at exclusive restaurants and nice shopping and many more things here in Colombia. So let's talk about the quality of life here in Colombia. Would you say that from an economic standpoint, it's a good place to immigrate to?
Yes, I mean, I can talk about this for literally hours, but in terms of the quality of life, first of all, if you come here with a US dollar, a euro, it's going to go a lot further than the US. And it's just not about monetary money. It has a lot to do with the quality of food. Like the food is not like poisons. You're not eating glyphosate. You're not eating GMOs. It's not full of chemicals.
And Colombia is located in the food belt. It's literally on the equator. So they grow all their own food. You can get everything fresh. Like I just got this tropical juice, custom made, fresh made from fresh ingredients. And everywhere you go, the food quality is just amazing.
And you know what the best part is? That you don't have to be a prepper here. You don't need to stock up on food because food is abundant throughout the entire nation. From fruits to cattle to vegetables, beef. I mean, there's two coastlines, so you can get seafood from the Caribbean or the Pacific side. So really, that whole dystopic prepping thing for end times, you don't have to do that here.
And guess what? They have eggs in grocery
And they have eggs here. Yeah, abundant eggs. You don't even want to know what price, because then everybody's going to be migrating here if I told you what the price of free-range eggs are here.
That's right. So yeah, all of those things go into the quality of life. And I also wanted to mention another point that is pretty important, is that there's an amazing quality of service here in Colombia. And I'm talking anything from getting your hair done, your nails done, house cleaning, all the way up to specialized medical services. So if you're in that age range where you worry about having access to medical services and the fact that it is so unaffordable in the United States, Colombia, you can actually have a live-in nurse. Your aunt has a live-in nurse.
You don't have to take a home equity loan to get these services.
Right. Yeah. And it's really high quality. You go to a hospital here or you go to a clinic, you can get all your tests done the same day. They will attend to you right away. And just service in general. You come to a restaurant, people are friendly, they're happy to serve you, they're not entitled. And also,
I mean, I'll give you a quick example. My mom had to come here last year to get some dental work done. It was less expensive to get three teeth worked on, pay for the flight, and pay for the dentistry than it was to have it done in the United States. It was $8,000 to have it done in the U.S. Here was a third. including airfare. It's like there's no comparison.
Yeah, that's incredible. And just in general, people here are so polite. So you come to a restaurant, you get amazing service, and everybody's friendly. And also, everywhere you go, people are super nice. People in Colombia are warm and polite, and it kind of like makes me miss Europe, like where I grew up in, because in the U.S. it's hard to find that kind of
Hospitality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
White fish from Pacific Coast. In the base, pureed mixed with a koji tomato, the beetroot, strawberry, raspberry, the broth mixed with a tomato, and dried shrimps. Dressing them. We share with a pan de bono, the typical bread from Colombia.
People also often ask us, and they just have this, I guess, hesitation about coming to Colombia. And the question is whether it's safe. So, what would you say? What do you think? Is Colombia safe?
Yeah, I would say on a relative basis it's safe. You have to be smart. If you're particularly really in big cities, once you get out of the big cities, it's not an issue. In the big cities, if you're out late at night partying, nothing happens good after midnight. And
Although, I will give you an example. Just last month, my girlfriends were coming to visit, and we went out to a club, the three of us, just three girls, and it was super safe. We had an amazing experience. I never once felt, like violated, like your personal space is violated. In the U.S., you go to a club, it's like a little whoa.
There you go. I think the culture is still very much respectful. Everybody's really respectful, even like respectful towards gays as well. I mean, it's well accepted. It's not a homophobic type of culture at all. That's not what we're implying. We're just implying, people are respectful.
And also, unlike in the U.S., here, if you go out to a club, you go out to a movie theater, chances are there's not going to be like a crazy mass shooter.
So
it's pretty safe in that regard.
it's not dystopic?
It's not dystopic, and people are not like on meds, off of meds.
And I think that's been kind of, unfortunately, really normalized in the U.S. for a long time, as I can remember. Like the whole dystopic, random shootings, whether it's a movie theater or a concert.
Or a school, you send your
A
child to
school,
school,
I mean,
you don't
any
know if
kind,
they're going to come back.
yeah, any kind of public gathering now is like a health hazard in the USA, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, now I guess we should mention a couple of things that might not be so great about Colombia, just to keep it fair.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we still chose to look here because of all the things that we just said. Pros obviously outweigh the cons, but I wanted to mention that here bureaucracy is pretty bad, I would say, and there's a lot of also like stupid rules, like
And I hate rules, so.
Yeah, like for example, here in Bogota is a big city, and you can only drive either on odd or even days.
Based on your license plate numbers.
So
Your license,
imagine how difficult that makes it. If you want to leave on a certain day, you can't drive out of the city.
Unless you have a hybrid. If you own a hybrid, then that doesn't apply, or an electric car. That's kind of an incentive. But the problem is, it's you have 10 million people living in a city that doesn't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a metro, Bogota, unlike Medellin has a metro. But it's an inconvenience if you have to live here and commute every day. Then that's a consideration.
And that's another con that you just mentioned, is that there are a lot of people in Colombia. I think it has over 50 million people, but the landmass is a lot smaller than the US, for example. So a lot of cities are congested. Traffic in Bogota is terrible. That's why we prefer to stay outside of Bogota. But also, it comes with all the noise, the pollution, and there's also quite a bit of disparity in terms of people's economic status.
But if you're a nomad and you don't have to commute, and or you're a retiree, you're not commuting for work, and then it's a different situation. Or if you live outside of the city, or in the suburbs, then it's a non-issue.
Yeah. And finally, I wanted to mention this point for someone who might care, is that Colombia, it's still, I mean, I would say it's like almost like a first world country, but depending on where you go, Some amenities might not be available that you might be used to. For example, like high-speed internet and hot water on demand. So you'll have to like toughen up a little bit and be prepared to take
But
a cold
actually,
shower sometimes
high-speed
once in a
internet
while.
is actually a lot greater now throughout, even in small towns.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's a bit inconsistent. So, just
Kinda
something
depends.
to keep in mind. That's important to you. We wanted to mention it. So I think that's all of the points that we wanted to discuss today about why we chose to live here in Colombia. I personally love it. For you, it's almost like your second home because you grew up here. But for me, I'm truly like a foreigner in this country, and I feel so welcome. I feel like this is a great place to live, a great place to immigrate to. It's relatively easy, and you get a great quality of life.
So yeah, if you're inspired and curious, we welcome you to come and check it out.
And if you like this video, don't forget to click like and subscribe and share it with your friends in case they might find this information useful. I hope to see you soon. So subscribe and stay tuned for our next video.
Take care.